All right, folks, get ready for a deep dive. We're going deep, deep into The Night Agent Season 2. We've got the new trailer and some intel from Screen Rant, some juicy details to break down. And this is way more exciting than just, a basic recap. Trust me, we're going to play night action detective here, put the pieces together about, the whole plot, new characters, and why the stakes are seriously sky high this season.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. It's wild how they flipped the whole thing on its head with Peter this season, right? Season 1, he's the guy answering that mysterious phone, officially becomes a night action agent, all that. Now, boom, he's on the run, a suspect framed for something he didn't do. It's talk about a trial by fire right out the gate.
Oh, totally. It's like he went from answering that phone to being public enemy number 1. But this isn't just him clearing his name, right? That trailer, it mentions experimental weapons, enough to, wipe out Manhattan. That's a whole nother level of intensity,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And it's even crazier. If you dig into that Screen Rant article, it hints that these weapons, they might be EMPs, electromagnetic pulse devices. Imagine the whole power grid of Manhattan just poof, goes dark.
Yeah.
Not just a blackout. We're talking transportation, communication, hospitals, everything down. That's the kind of mess that could easily spiral into global panic,
Okay, yeah, getting chills just thinking about it. We're going from rogue agent to a whole city going down just like that. But wait, there's more, right? Because the trailer drops another bombshell. A CIA mole. Talk about paranoia. Who can Peter even trust at this point?
Classic spy thriller move, for sure, but they do it so well. Think about it. Peter's already on edge, framed, and now he's got to work knowing someone in his own agency is working against him. The betrayal, not knowing who to trust, it adds this whole psychological thriller layer. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Every single character is suspicious now.
Yeah.
Is it someone we know? Someone new?
Yeah.
I'm already side-eyeing everyone in that trailer.
That Screen Rant article, it teases a journey with many twists and turns, and I'm putting money on them, keeping us guessing till the very end. But here's something I've been wondering. How does this mole thing, play into Peter's growth from season 1? He's not just some rookie anymore, right? He's supposed to be one of the good guys, upholding the whole night action ideal.
Right. That's a great point. It's they're making him face the dark side of the system he's supposed to protect, How do you keep believing when the people you trust are the ones, pulling the strings?
It's the ultimate test, And I think that's where the real heart of season 2 is going to be. Not just stopping the bad guy, but Peter figuring out who he is, what he stands for when everything is so blurry,
Deep, man, deep. Okay, let's shift gears a sec, talk about the cast. I was so stoked to see familiar faces in the trailer. Rose Larkin, played by Lucy Ann Buchanan, she's back. Fan favorite for sure. And then we've got Chelsea Arrington, played by Fola Evans-Akingbola. The tech whiz who always comes through, saves the day.
Yeah, having them back is huge, It gives that sense of, we're continuing the story, we're invested in these people. So seeing them deal with this new, even more dangerous stuff, that's going to be gripping, I think.
For sure. And speaking of dangerous stuff, Ben Elmora, played by Enrique Murciano, and Diane Farr, played by Hong Chow, they're back too. Oh, man, I can't wait to see what kind of political maneuvering they'll be up to.
Yeah, and with that whole mole situation, their roles get even more, interesting, Are they in on it? Are they, completely clueless? The possibilities are insane. I bet their storylines are going to be just as twisty as Peter's.
Okay, we got our favorites back, but what about the new faces? There are, a bunch joining the cast.
Oh, yeah, tons. Amanda Warren, Berto Cullen, Louis Hertham. We don't know much about them yet, but that's part of the fun, right? Trying to figure out where their loyalties lie, who they're connected to, how they'll shake things up.
Like a big puzzle box, and we're just starting to peek at the pieces. And, there are a few faces I recognized in there, too. Ariane Mondi, Michael Malarkey, and Keon Alexander. I've seen them in other stuff, and they always bring this, intensity.
Casting is so key in a show like this. You need actors who can pull off that ambiguity, that hidden agenda thing,
Right.
And from what I've seen, they nailed it.
Okay, so we got Peter on the run, a CIA mole messing things up, global threat, and a whole new cast to figure out. Screen Rant calls this Peter's biggest adventure yet. No pressure, right?
Well, he's not answering phones anymore, right?
Yeah.
He's a full-on night action agent, so the responsibility, the expectations, they're all, amplified now. And in a way, I think that makes him even more vulnerable, He's trying to be this ideal, believe in the system while the system's kind of falling apart around him.
It's like they took everything we loved about season 1, the suspense, action, the moral dilemmas, and turned it up to 11.
And let's not forget the whole, pressure of living up to season 1's success. The Night Agent was massive for Netflix, one of their biggest hits. So there's definitely this anticipation, this expectation for season 2 to deliver.
Totally. And from the trailer, they're not shying away from it at all. They're pushing boundaries, exploring new stuff, deepening the characters in ways we haven't seen before.
It's not just about another adrenaline rush. It's about exploring the toll this life takes on Peter and everyone around him.
All right, so we covered a lot of ground here, got a good feel for the plot, the stakes, and the players.
But the big question remains, who's the mole? Who can Peter actually trust in all this, like shadow and deception?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the trailer, it gives us plenty of suspects to think about. We've got the returning characters, each with their own secrets and motives. And then the new folks, where we're totally in the dark about their allegiances. It's going to be a wild ride figuring it all out.
And that's what makes a good spy thriller so addictive, right? That constant uncertainty, that feeling like nothing's what it seems. We're always trying to outsmart the writers. Guess what's next? But they're usually one step ahead. It's like they're playing 4D chess with us.
Yeah, totally. And they're good at it.
You know what else I find interesting? How they use, like, Washington, D.C. as this backdrop. It's not just a place. It's like its own character. The monuments, the buildings, all that power and secrecy, it adds to that whole paranoia vibe.
Oh, absolutely. It's spot on. And I think that's a big part of why The Night Agent just clicks with people. It plays on our anxieties about, like, power, corruption, all those hidden things controlling the world.
Totally. It's like those conspiracy theories, but, with a Hollywood spin. Speaking of spins, what about some romance? I think we'll see sparks between Peter and Rose. I mean, come on. They had some chemistry in season 1.
Yeah, their relationship is definitely one to watch. They're both in this crazy world, danger everywhere, betrayal lurking around every corner. But there's also this deep trust between them. Yeah, you can see in the trailer the way they look at each other. Like they're the only ones who get what the other's going through. And what about Chelsea? You think she'll finally get the credit she deserves?
Man, I hope so. She's the brains, always figuring things out. But people underestimate her, Maybe this season she gets to shine, show everyone what she's really capable of.
I'm rooting for her. And Ben and Diane, always playing that political chess game, think they'll survive this whole mole thing without getting burned.
I think they're going to be key to figuring out the mole, actually. They got the connections, the power, and they're not afraid to get their hands dirty.
Right, the ultimate power couple, but with a whole lot of baggage. Okay, so lots of potential for drama, both personal and professional, in season 2.
That's what makes it so good, though. It's not just action and suspense. It's about the characters, the relationships, and the choices they make when things get tough.
Like a giant tapestry, with all these threads weaving together. And speaking of weaving, have you noticed how they play with good and evil?
Oh, yeah. Big time. The lines are so blurry. Like some characters, they seem like villains at first. Then you see their motives and it's like, whoa, there's more to them. And then some heroes, they make choices that make you wonder,
It's like real life, right?
Yeah.
No one's all good or all bad. We're all a mix, capable of amazing things and terrible things.
Yeah.
And that's what makes The Night Agent so, thought-provoking. It makes you question what you believe about right and wrong.
You nailed it. It resonates with us because it reflects that complexity in ourselves.
Okay, so we've talked plot, characters, themes, the whole vibe. But let's get back to the big one. Who do you think the mole is?
The million-dollar question. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I have some theories bouncing around, but I'm trying to keep an open mind, These writers, they're masters of misdirection. They'll throw curveballs for sure.
Same. Trying to channel my inner Sherlock, analyzing every little detail. But honestly, I'm just enjoying the ride. That feeling of being on the edge of your seat, not knowing what's coming next.
Me too. That's what keeps us coming back, right? The mystery, the intrigue. And the fact they've built that same excitement for season 2, it says a lot about the quality,
Totally. They've upped the stakes, expanded the world, the characters are deeper. And they've still got that action, suspense, and moral ambiguity that we loved in season 1.
And not easy to pull off with a sequel, but from what we've seen, they're doing it. The Night Agent season 2, it's looking even better than the first.
I'm so pumped. Okay, before we wrap up, let's recap for everyone listening. What are the big things to keep in mind for the premiere?
All right, so first, Peter's not the newbie anymore. He's a full-fledged night action agent, but he's also facing his biggest challenge. Framed, trying to expose a mole. It's all happening at once.
And don't forget those weapons. Enough to take out Manhattan. The stakes are crazy high, and it's way more personal now.
We've also got familiar faces to do new ones, all adding to the intrigue.
And of course, the big question. Who's the mole? Who's betraying Peter and putting everything on the line?
Yeah, it's a whole, puzzle box wrapped in mystery with an action movie on top. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Seriously, the weight is killing me. I'm already thinking, who can I bribe to see it early? But, even if we know all the answers, it wouldn't be the same, right?
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this show. You go on this ride, the twists, the oh my God moments.
Yeah, that's what hooks you. Those surprises when you think you know what's coming, and then bam, they flip it. Makes The Night Agent so fun to watch.
Yeah.
I got a feeling season 2 is going to be even wilder than the first.
Okay, we've talked plot, characters, teased the mole mystery, but let's bring it back to you, the listeners. Why should you care about The Night Agent season 2?
Because it's more than just spies and explosions, It's about trust, loyalty, betrayal, all in this world where right and wrong get kind of blurry. It makes you think about the systems we live with, the people we believe in.
And it's just plain fun to watch. The action's awesome, the writing's sharp, the actors are incredible. You'll be hooked from the first episode, guaranteed.
Oh, and here's a little secret. Even if you haven't seen season 1, you can jump right in. They catch you up on everything you need to know without spoiling the fun.
No excuses then. Mark those calendars, January 23, 2025. Season 2 drops. You don't want to miss this, trust me.
And hey, if you have time, go back and rewatch season 1. It'll refresh your memory, plus you'll appreciate Peter's journey even more.
Great idea, like a little brain workout before the main event. All right, before we go, one last thing to think about. Everything we've discussed, all the clues, who do you think the mole is? Someone we know? A new face? Tell us your theories. Leave a comment. And we'll be back after the premiere to break down all the crazy stuff that happens in the first episode.
Have fun theorizing, everyone. And remember, with The Night Agent, trust no one.
Stay sharp, and we'll see you on the other side.